Hello, everyone. Greetings. I guess this is a news alert from Dog Podcast Network because there is breaking news in the United Kingdom.
I wondered how long it would take you, and it's been about, what, 10
10
seconds?
seconds. It didn't take long.
Do you
What is
know,
happening with your country?
I must have been like the only person whose first thought was, Jim's going to lay into this tonight. He's going to enjoy this so much. I don't know what's happening. I
So,
don't.
for you Yanks who are watching, the Prime Minister of Great Britain has stepped down after a whopping how many days in office?
44.
44. Well, she did a whole month.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. Interesting times. I hear Larry the cat, who is the resident cat at Downing Street, is currently looking after things. I mean, obviously, it would be better if it was a dog,
It would be.
but I feel any kind of furry animal in charge is possibly an improvement.
It's funny that the Brits are usurping America's attention that we've been getting for
You're
so
just
many years.
you're loving this, aren't you? You're loving the destruction of British democracy.
I do. It's fun and it's a great way of reminding people to vote
Votes.
because voting matters. We are November 8th is coming up real quickly in the United States, and so please do get out and vote. We have a Wag the Vote campaign, which is basically a way to encourage dog lovers to get other people to go out and to vote themselves and to get other people to go out and vote, because democracy is better when we do that. But who am I and who is she and what are we doing? I'm James Jacobson.
And I'm Clare Mansell.
And I'm in Hawaii and you're in
London, England.
And this is our weekly roundup of things that are happening on Dog Podcast Network, which is a little network that we have for great shows for dog lovers, things to listen to while you walk your dog, which is sort of the theme or tagline for our flagship show, Dog Edition. And this week we have something pretty special.
Yeah. So this week is brilliant title for this week. Vows and Bow Wows. I love that. So it's all about dogs at weddings because it's becoming ever more popular to get your dog involved in your wedding. And I thought this was just quite a limited thing that a dog could do, but there are so many things that dogs can do at weddings. And so we have talked to some of the people who involved their dog in their wedding and in really wide ranging roles, and also talk to some of the people who've set up businesses associated with dogs at weddings, and they're incredible ideas, things that I never thought were a gap in the market but have turned out to be so it's a great fun episode. It's really enlightening, and I mean, obviously if you're planning your wedding at the moment and you have a dog, it's essential listening.
It is.
And in fact, if you're in like any wedding forums and you're planning a wedding, or any wedding groups, share the episode in the wedding groups. We love you forever.
We would, because lots of people are doing it, and our producer uncovered some pretty cool things that you may not have thought of to add to your wedding, and also some tips to avoid because there's some disasters. But you'll hear all about that in this week's episode of Dog Edition. You can find that at dogedition.com or wherever you get your podcasts, and of course on YouTube as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And the long leash this week with James Jacobson, who is the man who is sitting sort of opposite me in a kind of virtual way, aren't you?
That's right. We're very intimate. We're close.
Yes.
This week on the long leash, I sit down with Mark Harden, and Mark Harden is a Hollywood animal trainer.
Yeah.
And he has trained some extraordinary animals, tiny little ones like spiders and ants, and big wild animals. But
elephants.
Guess what his favorite is? Dogs.
Well, dogs, obviously.
And so he shares some amazing stories. You will learn a little bit about the magic of Hollywood and how they can take a dog that has ages throughout the film and what they do to make that happen. It's really, really cool. And that is on The Long Leash. You can find that. The URL for that is longleashshow.com, or again, wherever you look for a podcast, The Long Leash with me, James Jacobson.
I love the fact that he talks about how when he's been asked to use puppies in a long filming schedule, they have swapped puppies with miniature versions of breeds, and he was talking about the pocket beagle and how they've used a pocket beagle with bigger hounds and it instantly looks like a puppy. It's brilliant. But he says that whole thing about you can't just continually train puppies because they keep growing up. You can't just keep training them.
Yeah, and it's very cool. Plus, also the business side of Hollywood, which I think we touch on in a way that is pretty compelling, because where does insurance fit into this whole thing?
Yeah.
It's a big issue, because imagine if you lose your,
Star.
main star. That's a problem. And so it's a really interesting discussion, because if you've ever watched a movie with a dog in it, I suspect you have if you are into dogs. How do they make that happen? We reveal all the tricks on this week's episode.
Yeah, fantastic. And Dog Cancer Answers this week is the first part of a two-parter about medicinal mushrooms with Dr. Robert Silver, breaking down what makes certain mushrooms beneficial for dogs with cancer and the qualities that those mushrooms have in them and how they can help. So that's an interesting episode.
That show is getting a tremendous amount of attention. People are really interested in medicinal mushrooms. It was a fascinating conversation that our host, who's my wife, Molly Jacobson, and our producer, Kate, had with Silver, and it's a really interesting thing. It was so big and extensive that we decided to cut it into two portions, because it really is fascinating. You can check that out at and it's not just about dogs with cancer. This episode, it has applicability for all dogs, but especially dogs that are sick. That's at dogcanceranswers.com.
Amazing. So just remains for me to mention again wagthevote.org before you get any more political jibes in there, to head to wagthevote.org to find out how you can leverage your dog to help save democracy. Will it work here as well?
I'm very punny. I hope so. I hope it works everywhere. It is a modest initiative that we are just starting very late in the year, but it's still obviously not too late if you live in the United States, because election days are still a ways off. Just please make sure you go out and vote. This is a very important election. And it is our nonpartisan effort, because we believe that democracy works better when people vote. And there's an opportunity when you're at the dog park or walking your dog to talk to other people and gently remind them about that. We did an event in Baltimore, Maryland over the last weekend where we handed out these wonderful stickers. I don't think there are any left. We literally went through all of our allotment of Wag the Vote stickers. But if it's something you're interested in and you would like to get a hold of them, just kind of get in touch with us, and maybe we can figure out how to get you some, because it is just another way to help get the message out that, we should all vote.
I really want one, by the way.
Okay.
You can slip one in an envelope. It's not big.
No, it's not. And we will. So our effort is, the dream, the vision is to get these everywhere, is to get stickers and to have all sorts of events. If you feel a political interest in what we're doing and you think this is something that you'd like to be a part of, just get in touch with us through our website, dogpodcastnetwork.com. There's lots of ways of connecting, but that's probably the best way. And we are on all the social media channels. We are also looking, and I've mentioned this before, we are looking for a social media manager to help us at Dog Podcast Network. And if you are watching this and hear something like, hey, I love dogs, I love social media, well, you can get in touch with us. Details are, again, at dogpodcastnetwork.com, or just get in touch with us. You can figure it out.
So we shall do this again next week, Jim, when we will almost have a new prime minister.
That's great. I look forward to you having a new. Do you any guesses to who it'll be?
Oh, this is a one, isn't it? I think it might be Wishy.
Really?
That's my feeling.
Okay, we'll check your prognostications next Wednesday.
Yeah.
And see if you're right.
Okay. Fantastic.
You need a minute. I mean, because having a cat in charge is fine, but really, I think these times, how much is inflation? 10%? Was inflation 10%?
I'm going off you again.
Okay. It's nice that the dollar and the pound and the euro are all parity, but whatever. Anyway, politics. Anyway, this is the intersection of news and dogs, because we love dogs and we also realize that we're all civic-minded beings, just as dogs are. Hope you will check us out. Again, the website, dogpodcastnetwork.com. I'm so grateful for spending a little time with you live today, Claire.
Absolutely.
We'll do it again next week. Take care,
Okay.
everyone.
Bye.